I'm Damien Gill from Football Federation Tasmania. To the left of me is Alex Luttrell from the Mercury, and we'll be bringing you all the best from football around Tasmania week in, week out here at the Mercury.
Thanks, Damien. Looking forward to a really great show and an even bigger Victory League season.
Absolutely. Well, let's get on to a few predictions for the season. I guess there's no better place to start than the Victory League champion. Alex, big question, mate. Time to shine. Who will be 2014 Victory League champion?
Last season, I tipped Zebras for the championship. I'm going to go it again
Ooh,
this season. Just
fool
because
me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
I think that, honestly, with the inclusion of Joel Stone, that just tipped it for me. And when I heard Aaron Cairns was coming back, it's just too much. And they defeated them without those two players in the Summer Cup. I know they lost the final, but I just can't turn my eye away from them, Damo.
Well, I'm a bit different on that one. I think South Hobart back-to-back. They've lost 9 from last year, but Ken Morton always finds a way to replace the players he loses, and there's some huge ins. That front three, I can't see any keeper or defence holding that. So South Hobart for mine. Let's get to the top 4, Alex. Go through who you think will be in this year's final series.
Well, obviously Zebras, the championship winners, they'll be top. South Hobart, close second, just because they've lost 9 Victory League players, Damo. I can't understand how you're going for them. But third will be Olympia, just because of their defenders, Alex Holmes and Jake Vandermeer, just best centre-back combination in the state at the moment. And fourth, I'm going to go with the Rangers, just because Devonport, they've lost too many key players. 3 Tasmanian under-20 state men. I don't think they'll be able to manage top 4 berth this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I myself have gone South Hobart, Tilford Zebras, the Summer Cup champions, Olympia. I think their defence is just sublime, and they'll really, really frustrate teams this season. And I think even still, Devonport, I think the quality of Corey Vickers in the centre pulling strings, I see them finishing 4th. So we get on to the Victory Cup champion. Of course, Victory Cup sees the 2 teams in the mini-final series after the regular season playoff.
Yep.
Who do you think will take out that silverware?
I'm going to go with South Hobart for that one. They're really good big game players, and Ken Morton will rally for a back-to-back Victory Cup this season, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think South Hobart, once again, just too strong. Big improvers, you mentioned before, I think we already know who your big improvers are going to be, Launceston City. You think under Kurt Reynolds, City are in for a big season?
Yeah, I think that they're going to get 6th this year, just outside the top 4, a couple of spots outside. But they are a very strong team, and no one can underestimate them this year. It'll come down to the Lions, the Knights, and Launceston for that bottom spot. But I think Launceston will escape it this year.
So we differ on this one quite a bit. I'm going for Glenorchy Knights. You have them tipped as last. I have them tipped as 5th. I think the acquisition of Shea Hickey is just huge for the club, and I think he'll rally that side, and they'll go on to some big things this year. We've already discussed the wooden spoon from your end, but I think Lonnie City and Kimbra will fight it out for that last position, with Kimbra Lions probably taking it out. Another big thing in 2014 is the launch of the FFA Cup. Alex, who do you think will take out our Lacca Seljet Cup and go on to the FFA Cup?
I think after Olympia have gone back-to-back in the Summer Cup, I reckon they'll do exactly the same in the Lacca Seljet Cup. They'll be the first Tasmanian team to compete in the national competition.
I tend to agree here. I think Olympia are big game players. They rise to the occasion, and the Lacca Seljet Cup always brings the best out of them. I can see them representing the state in the FFA Cup. Now, we'll get on to some players that we think people out there should look out for this season. And of course, a Mitsubishi Motors medalist tip. Last year it was Jaden Hay. He was the big riser. He showed a bit the season before, but he really went on to new heights. Who do you think is going to be in that bracket this year?
I think that John O'Laddick came really close last year for the Zebras, and I reckon he'll go one step further this year and take it out.
Well, I think a few players for me. Albie Lazinski. There's no one like him in the league. I think a big, strong forward like him. He's one to watch this year. I think he's in for huge things. Nick Mearns, he showed a lot the other day in the Summer Cup final. I think he's going to do quite a bit for Olympia this season. And Nick Morton, I think he showed at the tail end of last year's season that he is a super player, and he can really match it with the best. So I'm expecting big things from them. And of course, as I've already previously mentioned, Corey Vickers for Devonport I'd see him as the real heartbeat of their midfield this year.
I will actually just note, Damien, that Jake Vandermeer, as we've already discussed a few times today, he is a sensational centre-back from the Victorian Institute of Sport. He's played for South Melbourne. I reckon he'll be one of the first defender to win the Victory League Best and Fairest. He'll come close.
That's a bold call. A defender, they aren't really known for medals, but I'll hold you to that one. We'll see how it goes throughout the year. For mine, I think Corey Vickers or Joel Stone, I think he'll have new licence to run at players at Tilford Zebras, which I think that's his best aspect of his game, so I expect big things from him down at the Zebras. From defenders on your end to strikers, who's going to win this year's Golden Boot?
Well, I've originally tipped Alex Lazinski. I think he was superb in the game against South Hobart. He struggled a lot on the weekend against the big centre-backs of Olympia, but I honestly think he'll come really close, even taking it out this year.
Mine may seem a little left field. Shane Brassington for the Rangers. I think with Mann and Brennan and Hamlet in the south forward line, they're all going to be sharing goals, as was the case last year. I think Zebras, you've got McEwen, Lazinski. I think Brassington being the sole goal scorer at the Rangers will hold him in good stead to take out the 2014 PFD Golden Boot Award. Now we should get on to round one. Not far away, the Victory League kicks off on Friday 28th of March 2014. Not too far away at all. Have you got your tips ready, Alex?
Yeah, well, I personally think the first game of the season, South Hobart versus Nice last year, was a 3-3 draw. I think it's going to be the opposite end of the scale. I reckon South Hobart are going to get over them by a number of goals, probably 4-0 this time around.
So that game's 8 p.m. on Friday 28th of March at KG5, and I myself tipping South Hobart. The second game is Tilford Zebras versus Devonport at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday at KG5. Who are you picking in that one?
Well, if you remember last year, Devonport had the wood over him that time, 5-2, I believe, 5-1 or 5-2, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a
It was a
thumpy.
bit of a bath for Devonport, and but Zebras this time around for me, they'll get one over Devonport in the first game.
I think it's going to be a fiery clash because, of course, there's a bit of angst from the strikers towards the Zebras given that Joel Stone's moved there, but of course he can't play in that game with a suspension. But I'm picking the Zebras in this one. Third game of the round, Launceston City versus Northern Rangers, a Northern derby. We always like to see them. 6 p.m. On Saturday 29th of March at Mitsubishi Park. Who are you tipping in this one?
I'm going to go the upset with Launceston. I reckon they're going to get their first win in the Victory League finally after 21 games, 22 games.
Yeah, I like the tip, but I can't go with you. Northern Rangers, I just think they lift another notch when they come up against their northern rivals, and this time again I'm tipping Brassington for a hat-trick. Olympia versus Canberra Lions to round out the round, 7 p.m. on the Saturday. Who are you going with there, Alex?
Olympia, of course. Just too strong. Again, the centre-back factor, they'll cream Canberra in that match. In
2013, it was a tight clash early on, and then Olympia just really kicked on. I'm expecting something similar. I'm expecting a comfortable victory for Olympia. All right, that's all we have time for on our first edition of Tassie's Football Fix. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, bye for now.